Welcome back. In this video, I'll talk about some of the particulars about how this course is actually going to work in terms of your day-to-day experience engaging with it on Canvas. So every week I'll post an introductory video like the first one that you watched this week, where I'll give a kind of an overview of the topics we'll be looking at in the course, and I'll also give important updates on big assignments and changes to the schedule, things like that. Then usually we'll jump right into lectures. And now most of the lectures that I'm going to deliver are going to be what I call maybe Blackboard style, or you might think of as like you might be familiar with like Khan Academy style. So one of the consequences of this is that I will provide you with lecture notes at the end of each week, but it will be greatly to your benefit to take notes during these lectures. And that will help you with some of the learning outcomes that we're hoping to get out of this. So here's a schedule of where we are in this course. We are, of course, right here in week number 1, unit 0. And as you saw in the last video, we've got 4 different units, each of which has a set of topics that it covers. Now, some of the major themes here and the recurring things you'll bump into. First off, each week is going to have a comprehension quiz. So I'll probably denote that as a CQ when I'm posting on Canvas. And how that's going to work is it'll be a brief Canvas quiz you'll take at the end of watching all the videos for each week, and you'll get multiple attempts on that. So this is not meant to be a test. This is just meant to solidify your learning. So these won't be super challenging, but hopefully they'll be able to be a check on making sure that you understand the material. And they'll also help me understand how well I'm actually communicating the material that we're trying to learn. So generally each week you'll have lectures like this one. Then you'll have a content comprehension quiz. And then sometimes you'll have some of these bigger assignments. So each unit is going to have a problem set. And that'll be a longer, more involved, and probably more difficult, more challenging set of questions than you'll see either on the comprehension quizzes or on the exams. At the conclusion of each unit, we'll also have an exam. Those exams will have one segment that will be multiple choice and true-false, and then one segment that will be short answer. Now, you'll have to check on Canvas as we get closer to the tentative date of the first exam in early February, and I'll post updates on what you can expect for that. It'll be important to check Canvas each week to make sure none of the deadlines have changed. I'll be trying to communicate with you about that, obviously, but as we're still getting this course organized, things might bounce around a little bit. A few other things that you'll see on the schedule, we'll be doing a few analyses of scientific articles. I think it's a really useful skill to build, being able to read actual scientific research, because inevitably you'll have questions in the future that won't be answered in a course. You'll have to go out into the scientific literature and be able to interpret them to find an answer. Then there's one project for this course. That project has a proposal due kind of around the middle of the course, and then the actual project will be due at the end of the course. So I'm calling this an equipment analysis, and the idea is as follows. At some point in your future, you will likely be working for some kind of maybe sports performance center, some kind of sports medicine clinic, or other place that might be interested in purchasing some type of equipment, maybe some kind of special weightlifting stuff, some type of rehabilitation equipment. And what you're going to do is you're going to do an analysis of that equipment and either recommend or refute or unrecommend, describe why you do or do not recommend that kind of equipment. So you can have you'll be able to choose, say, if you're really interested in, I don't know, baseball, you might be able to choose some kind of special pitching machine. If you're interested in rehabilitation, you might be able to pick some type of rehabilitation device. And you'll be applying the concepts that we learn in the class to analyzing that and interpreting that. And hopefully this will be something that's actually helpful and useful, a useful skill for you to build going forwards. So a few specifics about kind of nitty-gritty class details. This video is not a substitute for reading the syllabus, which I recommend you do, but a few highlights. Homework is due when it's due. The late policy is 25% of the total points off per day it's late. So if you're late by 1 day, that's minus 25% off the total possible points. And of course, after 4 days, that means 0. Another important thing I want to highlight is exam makeups. The exams are on the date that they're on, and the only excuses for that are university-approved excuses. I think by now you probably know the policies for those. See the syllabus for specifics, but that would include varsity sport competitions, family emergencies, religious holidays, and of course you need documentation for all that. I'm, again, sure you're familiar with that. In terms of getting in touch with me, by far the best way to do that is email. And you can reach me at jjd1@iu.edu. This is also, of course, on Canvas. And if you send me a Canvas message, of course, that just goes right to my email. So I'm pretty good about checking my email. Do give me maybe 48 hours to get back to you. But generally, especially during the week, I'm pretty good about that. Finally, and lastly, this is pretty important. I take academic integrity very seriously. So this means plagiarism, cheating, that kind of thing. I think this is especially important to emphasize in the context of an online class where there's maybe more opportunities for that sort of thing. I really have no tolerance for plagiarism and cheating. That includes, by the way, soliciting answers and sharing course material on websites like Chegg, Course Hero, others. I do check and monitor those sites and others. And you should know, by the way, that all of the work that you turn in, the written work, is going to be submitted to Turnitin to be checked for plagiarism. So just want to make sure everybody understands that. And for everybody's interest, both your interest and my interest, let's all take academic integrity and ethics very seriously, and we won't have any problems with that. Lastly, if you have specific questions about the class, odds are they're in the syllabus, so check there first. But if you don't have an answer to a question you have, send me an email. I'm happy to help. So now that we've gotten all of this stuff out of the way, I'm excited to jump into the actual material of the course and we start looking at some of the actual mechanics of human movement in the next video. So I'll see you then.